Thoughts on Game 6? What do you guys have to do to close out the series?
Just be ready to go from the jump, and it's going to be a great environment, great atmosphere. Just got to be ready to go.
When you say get ready to go from the jump, what are some things that you guys can do differently? Do you have to do things differently to start a game than you've been doing recently? Like, what do you envision there?
Just got to start the game well on both sides of the ball. Can't play catch-up. I think that's just most important, and just making sure that we have our foot on the gas the entire game.
Tom always talks about playing 48 minutes, and I guess he said the other day that you guys haven't done that yet. You kind of feel like that hasn't happened.
You said, do I feel like what?
Haven't played the 48 minutes together the way you want.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've had spurts of where we let off the gas a little bit, but we're just striving to play for 48 minutes.
When you've had to come off the floor a few times during the series, has it been your ankle each time, or has it been something different?
I've been fine. I got back in the game. Not on the injury report. I'm all good.
The third quarters obviously have been a bugaboo for you guys. Is it as simple as just coming out and make sure you have better third quarters, or is there more that you guys can do in terms of getting out, warming up more, and what you guys do at halftime?
I feel like it's more of a mentality than anything. Like I said before, we can't let our foot off the gas, regardless of if we're up or down. We got to be on go the entire time.
After game two, you guys all talked about having to move a little more pace on offense, not necessarily play at a faster pace, but just have better. It seemed like better pacing in the half court. It seemed like you guys kind of reverted on that in Game 5. Why do you think that was, and why do you think you guys have that tendency?
I think offensively I struggled offensively. I feel like the ball, I'm bringing the ball up. I have the ball most of the time, so it starts with me. So in order for us to be better offensively as a team, I just need to be better with making decisions and making sure that I'm putting my teammates in the best positions to be successful. So it starts with me.
When you're dealing with the pain, whether it's ankle or whatever else, and you take some time out to kind of is it more about waiting till you feel better physically, mentally? Like, what are you thinking in those moments?
Physically and mentally, just making sure I'm ready to go.
Is there a balance? Like, I know obviously you guys want to avoid having to face their half-court defense whenever you can. Is there sometimes kind of like a rush mentality when you look at some of the turnovers and just the fact that over the course of the season you guys are a team that plays a slower pace, the Pistons play a faster pace? Like, does it play into their scheme too much at times? Does that make sense?
I just think we have to make better decisions regardless of what's going on. Each team throughout the league has their own schemes, offensively, defensively. It's all about us playing our style of basketball and making sure we're doing it the best of our abilities. So we just got to be, we just got to do that the best we can.
It looks like they've at times had struggles defending Cat out there. Do you feel like you guys are hunting him enough? Do you think he's been, either assertive enough in getting the ball? What's the balance? It looks like they can't guard him at times.
Yeah, that's the NBA. A lot of people can't guard people at times, but for the most part, we got to make sure as a team that we're ready to go, good to go. And when we see something we like, we have to attack it. And so just making sure we're on the same page on that from that part.
You guys off the ball in Game 5. Like, Asar Thompson got free in the half court for like 6 or 7 buckets off the ball in Game 5. What do you feel like is leading to that defensively?
One, he's a great cutter. I think just being able to make sure we get back in front of bodies and seeing where the ball is at when Kate has the ball and us rotating out of certain things. And so just making sure we're attached and knowing where he is. And he played great. We're going to have to respond to that.
Is that awareness from the weak side guy, or is it communication from other people?
It's awareness from the guy guarding him who's rotating, and then the guy who needs to rotate to the first rotating guy. So just making sure we're on the string.
You guys, especially in the beginning of the year, you guys were one of the top-rated offenses in the NBA. Now, is the slippage, is that a product of just playoff basketball and it's just harder to score, or is there something that you guys can do better overall?
I think a mixture of both. Playoff basketball, we've been playing the same time for now. This is the 6th time, so I'm pretty sure they know us. We know them, and we're in a position now where we just need to go out there and just earn it. It's not going to be given to us. They're not going to hand anything over. And so we got to go out there and play the best we can regardless of what's happening. And it's never going to be easy. And so we just got to go out there and go get it.
Jim, how would you evaluate your series so far, personally?
I'll do that when the series is over.
I know Deuce, he kind of looks to you for advice sometimes.
Who?
Deuce
Oh.
talks about you as like a mentor type. Do you say anything to him to get him going? Is there anything that, like, as a captain or just your relationship with him, do you talk to him?
Do you say he looks to me as a mentor, you said?
Yeah, he's talked about.
He said that word for word?
I mean, what he said the first year you were here. He's helped me with a lot of stuff on and off the court.
And I'm his mentor is what you
I
said?
mean, maybe all right, so mentor is strong. A colleague whose advice
a coworker?
he appreciates. How about
Okay.
that? Not a big brother.
No. I respect the hell out of Deuce ever since I've seen him. He works tremendously hard, and that's something around the league that you would think it's common. But watching him work that first summer, nothing's changed now. And so the biggest thing that I've always taught him about is your confidence comes from your work ethic. How hard you work is going to prepare you for games. There's going to be times where things aren't going your way, but you continue to work hard, you continue to believe, you continue to trust everything you do. And so that's really it. But I'm glad that he said I'm a mentor.
That honestly sounds like something a mentor would say.
Well, I'm going to ask him if I'm his mentor right now. So.
I mean, it's going to be a fun atmosphere. We just make sure took a photo.
Sorry.
Everybody might want to record video. Yeah, but energy is going to be good. They're going to come out with energy, physicality. Same thing as every other game. We got to make sure we exceed that and put together 48 minutes.
That's great fun. Just for every question after that.
Yeah, man. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so she might be ahead of y'all.
Long quote.
I know people like to downplay how much pain they're in or what the severity of their injury is, but how do you play through what you like? The way you play, I know that your body's picking up mileage and soreness, all that. Like, how do you play through all that?
Prayer and faith. That's something.
How are you feeling right now?
Exquisite.
Did you have to get like imaging at all on the wrist?
Nah. I mean, yeah. I think we looked at some stuff, but we good.
What'd you look at?
I don't know. I was just seeing. The main important thing I was just seeing if I was gonna be able to put a watch on. You know what I mean? To make sure, because I actually look at my watch for time. It's not just like a bracelet.
That was the imaging Barbara was doing.
So
just now.
yeah, exactly. So.
You guys, Asar Thompson scored on 6 back cuts in the half court during Game 5. A few of those were on you.
Mm-hmm.
On those plays, what's happening there? Why is he getting free?
I think it was a good counter to us, playing off of him. I think I have to do a better job and having better judgment in terms of being in that help position of not helping up so far and giving him free dunks. So, it's just that cat and mouse game. Playoff series is all about, it's like a little chess game. Some people make an adjustment to something, and the other team makes an adjustment to that. So, that's just what this is, and we're talked about that, and we have a game plan, and now we just got to go out and execute.
So the strategy just to stay closer to the baseline to take that away?
I'm not going to tell you the strategy. I'll let y'all watch it, and like I said, hopefully we execute it properly.
Josh, big storyline after the last game was you guys at the scores table not getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
What is your interpretation of what happened? Do you understand why you weren't able to get into that game? How frustrating was that?
I mean, whenever you're not out there, it's always frustrating. Because you want to go out there and compete. If I wanted to be out there, I shouldn't have fell so hard and got hurt. But I got faith in my guys. I mean, Cam had a wide open floater that he makes 9 times out of 10 times. We got stops. We just, we had a couple good looks that didn't go down, and that's, some of those shots could have been the same shots that we got if we were in. So, it's just it's basketball. There's always good and bad breaks of it, but I got faith in those guys to go out there, give energy, and give us what we need.
Josh, Tibbs got criticized a lot for not calling a timeout to get you guys back in the game. What do you think of the fact that he's kind of had a bullseye in his back the last 48 hours?
He's used to it. I mean, bullseye on his back for that. He gives a bullseye on the back, the whole season for minutes and rotations and all that. So, that's our coach. We're going to back him 100%. Everyone is on this team because we have faith and trust in them. I think that's just a byproduct of that. We got stops, like I said. We got good looks. What more do you want besides getting stops and getting good looks for good players? I don't know.
One of the things in this series, Josh, is you guys' experience versus the inexperience of the Pistons. To this point, or matter of fact, tonight, how does experience show up in a quarterback?
I think discipline and attention to detail. I think that's the biggest thing. Going out there, executing the game plan. It's never flawlessly, but you always want it to be flawless. I think that's the biggest thing. That's where the experience comes in, valuing every possession. I think last game we had too many turnovers. I think I had 3 or 4. We had ones that we could have easily, not have had. So I think it's just the attention to detail, the valuing every possession is where that experience kind of shows.
Mitch's presence was very beneficial for you guys last game, and they took a good approach of fouling him and making him go to the free throw line.
Love it.
You've talked obviously about how teams guard you and the approach that certain teams take for certain players. If you're Mitch and obviously they had to take him off the floor, do you say anything to him? I know obviously he works on his free throws. He was very impactful in that game. Do you say anything as a teammate to him?
No, I mean, Mitch's a grown man. Mitch knows how important he is to this team. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but just my perception of it. He's been shooting free throws very well. So, if they're going to do that, let them do that. We're going to get stops, and he's so important to us defensively. Even if he makes 1 out of 2, if we go out there, get 5 stops in a row, and they do it 5 times, and he makes 5 free throws, we're +5. Right. So we got faith in him on both sides of the court, and like I said, it's a chess game, but I got trust in all my guys.
There's like all the other Eastern Conference first rounds are wrapped up, and the idea that these other teams, whoever you're gonna, if you advance, who you play next, are getting more rest. How important do you think that is? And is there any benefit to still playing and being in rhythm and all that stuff? Like, do you guys think about that stuff?
No, we don't really think about it. That's just kind of like that ongoing debate with never really much proof. We can sit there and be like, oh, we're, we play 6 or 7 games, we're in a good flow of stuff. If they're all for a week, they're not in rhythm, we don't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to take care of what we got to take care of. Give those teams credit. They play tough series, and we're able to, come out in 4 or 5 games. But I don't think any of us thought this series was going to be a cakewalk. This is a heck of a team over there with a really good coach and coaching staff, and we respect them. And so we just got to make sure we focus on that. So those teams can get rest, I think, it's cool for them, but we got to make sure we just take care of what we can take care of, control.
When you talk about that rhythm and flow, do you feel like you guys have played your best game yet?
Not at all. Not even close. I think we've had spurts where we played very well, and then we had spurts where we played terrible, i.e. that third quarter. So we have to make sure we find ways to keep good flow and good rhythm all the way throughout the game. That's playing faster. That's making them make decisions, and when you allow or when you make teams make decisions, you put them in a position to make mistakes, and when you put them in that position, then you can counter and they can pay for those mistakes. So that's something that we got to do. We got to play with more pace. We got to make sure we get everybody involved with JB Camp, but also Mikhail and OG, and go out there and hoop. So I think that's just the biggest thing: play with pace throughout the whole game, and put them in positions to have to make mistakes.